Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My God, Spirit Team, talk to me about Taurus. What do we got going in late November? It's Sagittarius season, beautiful time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in late November. What's the vibe? What are the energies surrounding my good friends? What's coming in? There we go. Nice and quick. Okay. Now, this card does have several really strong messages that do come with it normally. One is extremely positive, extremely good. The other one could be involving situations of control, whether it's controlling oneself, controlling a certain impulse, or trying to get control of a situation. But the other one is like fun and having a blast. So I guess it depends on what you're going through. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So when you look at the imagery here, we see this jester, and he's playing with those puppets, right? He's putting on a little puppet show. So part of this card does seem fun to me. So for a portion of Tauruses out there, maybe you need to enjoy yourself in regards to something, specifically if life has been a little monotonous for you, or if you've been doing too much work, or just all work and no play. Spirit could be saying, like, Taurus, you might need to inject a little fun right now, or you just need to do something that you enjoy. I know Taurus is ruled by Venus, and when you're ruled by Venus, I have a lot of placements that are the same. Totally get it. You want to have a good time and enjoy yourself whenever possible. So this could be really good in regards to that, but we cannot overlook the other symbolism. This person literally putting on a puppet show. They're pulling the strings. They have control. So hopefully we're not going to go worst case scenario and say, oh yeah, there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. I don't think that's the case, but there could be a situation that needs a little bit more of your control, or you might need to step in and guide the ship. Okay, so hopefully you're not in a situation where somebody else is doing that in the wrong way, but we're just going to leave it at that. Maybe you just need to have a good time. We're going to let that jester keep putting on the puppet show over there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say this first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Taurus friends. What's happening? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Change was the name of the game. And last week's reading was titled A Serious Change. So for some of you, whether it's something that you need to take a little more seriously, or if it's a situation where you want it to improve or you want it to shift in some sort of way, you might need to buckle down. But I did see some good results in the end. That was the positive thing with last week's reading. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Taurus in late November Saggy season. What's going on for my good friends, please? Thank you. Okay, Hermit. Retracted type of energy here. Maybe some of you are just in Hermit mode for the time being. Nothing wrong with a little Hermit mode, right? There's a good energy here of recuperation, but this energy is like pulled back. I always get skeptical when I get the Hermit in first position, right? Because I usually like an action to start. The Hermit's like, no, I'm not doing nothing. I'm pulling back. Let's get a couple more. Let's get a couple more here for Taurus. Thank you. Quiet. Very, very quiet type of energy. We have the 4 of Swords here in position number 2. So when you combine the Hermit and the 4 of Swords, like, this is silent. Very, very silent. Let's get one more. Almost too quiet at this point. 9 of Swords. Okay, so a bit of an on-edge energy here, especially if there's someone you haven't heard from in a while. I mean, it could really present itself in a lot of different ways, but yeah, some of you might just need some mental vacation here when I see this type of energy, especially with that first card we had about like having a good time, having fun, especially if things are stressful. But yeah, a peculiar energy this week for you, my friend. So let's go through. I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements first. Starting with a little bit of earth. That's one you could be very comfy, cozy with. And we have two that connect to air. Interestingly enough, all of these cards do share some similarities. They're all cards that link to sleep. They're all cards that link to rest, recuperation. They're all cards that happen in the nighttime. So there's like a little mystery involved. That's why I'm saying like it's quiet, but a little too quiet when I'm seeing this type of energy. So it's going to be intriguing to see the differences as the reading moves forward. But let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this one out, because I feel like we're going to have a nuanced one on our hands. Position number one, we are starting with the Hermit. Now, as I mentioned, you might just be in Hermit mode. You might be connected to a Virgo. Maybe you have Virgo placements yourself. But the Hermit does have some positives. This is a highly spiritual card. It's a card of wisdom. It's a card of knowing, especially with the Four of Swords right next to it. Now's a great time for any sort of deep state meditation, praying, reconnecting spiritually. Could be really rewarding for a lot of you when I see the Hermit with the Four of Swords. So this combination can be rather good. But what is the Hermit? It's not going out there. It's not being super social. It's retracted. It's pulled back. It's being very, very quiet. In regards to communication, there might be none. There might be something you're not telling someone. There could be something someone's not telling you. It could go any sort of way. But yeah, the Hermit is just doing its own thing. Now, for some Tauruses, maybe you're just in your own mode, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're spending a little more time at home than you normally are with this Hermit. I don't feel like it's avoiding, but it's just so quiet. It's very peculiar. So we're going to want to look into this further when we get to the clarifier, whether it is something you're taking a step back from or whether it's just somebody laying low, because all of this energy likes to lay low. No drama, no nonsense. Moving to the center, we have the Four of Swords. Now you see the imagery there. This person, it looks like they're praying, looks like they're sleeping. Promise you this is not a coffin. This is someone that's literally taking a little nap, a little snooze. So I do link this to, once again, meditation, prayer, deep state meditation and exploration of your inner world. This is a very deep card, even though it looks like not much is happening. As with all fours, it is grounded. So when we go from like this Hermit into the Four of Swords, now swords usually represent the mind or communication. So you see what I mean? Very silent. This one's not really chatting too much. It's not really talking, but there could be a lot going on the inside. That's kind of what I'm picking out, where like there might not be a lot happening on the outside, but internally, someone might be really going through quite a few things, or at least mulling them over. Now, the Four of Swords, in its challenge, it can represent problems. It can represent speed bumps, lack of progress, but in the positive sense, it's rest, recuperation, and recovery. It's taking a little break if necessary. And that's been a theme that we saw ever since the very beginning with that first card. So if you've been going through a tough one, it's okay to prioritize your health, mind, body, and soul. Like, please take care of yourself. Now, moving to the back end, we do have the Nine of Swords. This person doesn't look as peaceful, right? Where this person's sleeping sound, they're quiet, they're doing their own thing. This person's stressing the heck out, right? They got the hands in the face. You don't really have to be an expert in tarot to understand what this means. So to me, it's stress, anxiousness, nervousness, somebody that is on edge, might be having issues sleeping. And notice, like, the big underlying themes are all similar here. So it's very important to rest and recuperate. Hopefully you're not having insomnia, or someone you're connected to, maybe they can't sleep for whatever reason. That's very possible when this card is here. It just feels on edge to me on the back end, where this one's like oddly quiet, and then this back end one, it's like, okay, what is going on here? Or what is this person going through? Because not a lot is happening on the outside. It's all internal, which is very peculiar to me. This card does also link to the paranormal, as do these cards. So just know your energetic sensitivity could be heightened in this time. So we're definitely going to want to take a peek at what's going on. When we have swords, the realm of thought, the realm of the mind, the realm of logic, with all this stuff happening, I just feel tons of internal energy. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What is going on for my Taurus friends? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Hermit? What is going on with that Hermit? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay. Why is the Hermit in the mix? What's going on with that Hermit? Oh, okay. I'll keep it to myself. That's like the energy I'm picking up. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing to you, but when I see the Knight of Cups in reverse underneath the Hermit, it's like, no, I'm just, I got it. Don't worry about me. I'm going to keep it to myself. It's like a very stoic type of energy. I don't want to say cold. To me, it's more like I'm just going to suck it up. I'm going to tighten my bootstraps and do what I have to do. So in this time, if that's not a mode you're in, this could be somebody else. I do feel like there could be someone that's going through a bit of a struggle, though. I'm being honest with you. Not saying it has to be you, but when I see the Hermit retracted, quiet, Knight of Cups in reverse, this is an alignment that represents somebody going through a very difficult emotional time. And we haven't even gotten to the Nine of Swords on the back end yet. But I would say whoever this individual it is, whether it's you or whether it's somebody else, it's like, I'll get through this. Like I don't need attention. I don't need a whole bunch of help. I could get through this on my own. Now, I guess that depends on what the issue is, right? I do feel like there's nothing wrong with asking for assistance if you need it, but whoever this stoic energy is in the front seems like pretty set on how they're going to handle something. And it does feel like someone might be on the struggle bus. That's just how it feels with the Knight of Cups. Now, for a small portion of you, you might not even be watching this for relationships, right? The Knight of Cups could represent love, romance, relationships. When I see the Hermit, it's like, no, not interested, not thinking about that, not interested at all. So that's the vibe I'm picking up. So maybe some of you are in that mode for whatever reason. Let's keep moving over to the Four of Swords. It's either very, very stoic, I'll do it myself type of energy, or it's someone that's just not interested. They're just doing their own thing. So let's go in on the Four of Swords, see what shows up here. Thank you. Not talking. Page of Wands in reverse underneath the Four of Swords. This is a very, very private type of energy. So Taurus, there might be certain situations you're going through where it's like, I'm keeping this a private matter, or someone you're connected to, where they're like, because I'm getting it from multiple areas. It's like, we're not talking about it. We're not going to talk about it. Now's not the time to discuss it or speak about it. So whether that's something that you feel is true with the situation where it's like, no, not the right time, not the right place. I'm not saying that it's never going to happen. I'm not saying that at all. But when I see the Four of Swords with that page in reverse, remember, pages are messengers, especially this one. It's very fiery. It's coming in, it's speaking, it's chit-chatting. When it shows up in reverse, same with the Knight, that's a messenger too. So you see all the cards of communication are in reverse. So now might be a time where communicating yourself clearly, or might be a bit more difficult than it normally is, or like there's misunderstandings. I feel like all sorts of issues around communication here. Okay, so whether it's like no communication, a lack of communication, misunderstandings, I feel like that could be a warning, especially with the front end here, because there's not really much to talk about, or there's not much being talked about for whatever reason. So again, you're your own being, you're your own person. You could decide how to handle whatever situations you're going through here, but there's certain energy here of privacy as well, where it's like, keep this quiet and keep this quiet for now. Let's keep moving. Let's see what that Nine of Swords has. Let's see what that Nine of Swords has to say. And I do have to say this, there might be someone you're connected to. They could be having a harder time than it appears. Okay? That's another thing. So let's see why that Nine of Swords is here. I mean, we got Virgo energy, water sign energy, fire sign energy. I mean, even air. So it's like we have all the elements out here. There's the Nine of Swords here. Magician. Okay. So this energy that I'm seeing in the front cannot be pent up forever. And I find it very intriguing that we have the Magician showing up in the last position, because it kind of links to the very, very first card that we had in the reading. Remember, I was speaking about control. The Magician is a card of control. I don't want to say this is someone that bit off more than they can chew when I see the Nine of Swords and the Magician. I just feel like this is someone that genuinely feels like there is this strong energy of someone going through a difficult time, nervous, anxious, the whole nine. But this is someone that might genuinely feel like, I don't need help, I don't need assistance, I can do this, I can handle this on my own. It's like hyper independent for whatever reason. So I would just like to say, if you are going through situations yourself personally where you need a second opinion, or you need help, you need assistance, don't be too proud to do so if you're in a time where you're struggling. Again, not saying it's you. This could be someone totally separated from yourself, but I'm seeing it over and over. It's like struggle, struggle, struggle. Now, the Magician in the upright is a positive sign. Okay. I feel like whatever this energy is on the front end, like all the privacy, all the quiet, all the lack of communication, is just going to drag something out. I do feel it resolving at some point, but I feel like it's just dragging it out. Very on edge type of energy. And it's getting me to the point where I'm even feeling on edge, just feeling all this stuff. So I will say this, the Magician is an energy conduit in this time. If you are feeling particularly on edge or anxious or nervous in this time, super important for you to find an outlet for that energy, whether it's physical activity, whether it's creativity, whether it is flipping these messengers upside down and speaking. I feel like this is energy that can't be pent in forever. For whatever reason. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Lots of stuff happening here, but also lots of similar themes. Difficulties around communication is like the overarching umbrella aside from the stress and anxiety. But position number one, we have the Hermit, withdrawn, pulled back, Knight of Cups in reverse. So like I said, very stoic, very I'm cool, don't worry about me, I got this type of energy. Another vibe I'm picking up, some of you might just not be interested in personal connections at all for whatever reason, or you might be getting pushed to that point where it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that stuff. Moving to the center, I have the Four of Swords with the Page of Wands in reverse. This energy, very private, not wanting to speak about it. So this could be coming from both ends, but I did feel like there was a warning in this time. Either someone is stuffing something down deep inside, or it's just now will be difficult for any sort of communication, whether you're expressing yourself or whether it's someone opening up to you or miscommunications. There's just like a lot of difficulty around talking or getting your point across. On the back end, I have the Nine of Swords with the Magician. I do feel like this energy could get dragged out and stretched out if it's not addressed, but at the same time, it's just very on edge, nervous type of energy. But there is someone that feels like they're cool, they got it no matter what. I like the confidence, right? I like the confidence there, but I feel like you shouldn't, or they shouldn't, whoever it is, should not feel bad about seeking assistance if necessary. Okay, so please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Let's see what's in the shadows here for my Taurus friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards do not always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this card out here for you. We're going to be picking next month's background real soon. Next couple days. What's happening here in the shadows for Taurus? Thank you. Ace of Pentacles. This is a very good positive shadow card, and it's a nice lightening of the energy from what I was feeling here in the whole beginning. Now, I always say all aces represent offers and opportunities. The Ace of Pentacles is a golden opportunity from the universe. So I feel like whatever it is that this energy shows up, or whatever it is you might be experiencing, if things aren't super great, or even if things feel a little stagnant, obviously that's not permanent, specifically when we have the Ace of Pentacles. If you're in a time of silence or a time of miscommunication or whatever this difficulty is that we're seeing within the reading, this tension, it's going to be relieved soon. That's what I really like about this Ace of Pentacles. There is a little warning here about watching out for the opportunities that are coming your way. Just make sure you're watch out for false opportunities and stuff like that. That's a shadow side of the Ace of Pentacles. But at the same time, I feel this is the sun coming out. This is the energy relieving, which is nice. So it tells me that whatever this is that we've been tapping into, far from permanent. So we're just going to leave it at that for now, Taurus. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble trouble with understanding its meaning. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.